Good morning, traders, and welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we'll be going through live order flow using Bookmap. The whole goal here is to understand the behavior of the traders in the auction process. So we can see that in the order flow. They are participating with their orders. Therefore, order flow makes a difference here. And Bookmap shows the order flow very nicely. So we'll go through many examples in here. Take a look at the S&P or any markets that you guys would like to take a look at. We will also take some positions in here, but it is not a trading room. I'll go through the risk disclosure in just a minute, but this is about not only understanding the order flow, but how to manage your trades with the order flow as well. There's some really nice benefits by doing that, and I'll show you. All right, just a few things to go through here. We have an onboarding webinar every Tuesday at 1 p.m. East Coast time. We'll go through how to log into bookmap.com, subscribe to data, download the platform, connect to data, and you will need to have an additional data subscription in order to connect Bookmap. So we'll connect Bookmap with that data, get you up and running, and we'll then add an instrument or two and answer questions and maybe take a look at some of the price action. All right, I'll put the link in here in the chat for you if you're interested in that. It's on Zoom. So here it is. There you go. And over here also in our Discord channel. Hey, good morning, Shark, Alois, and Alan, and Stephen, and Nicked. All right, welcome, Nicked. All right, guys, we've been going over this the last few days or so. It's a new supply and demand course that we have on setups. Okay, it's a setups course. Let me show you where it is. It's exclusively on the Bookmap Learning Center. That's where you'll need to go. Right. So how you get there is you go to bookmap.com and click on the education link up here. That will take you to the Bookmap Learning Center. There's all sorts of free videos and information materials in here, as well as if you scroll down, you'll see our calendar here of events. So every day you can see here we have 7 events today. Okay. In German, we had futures with Travend, then the All Markets webinar with me. After that, we'll have Tom B in the Traders Lab. After that, in Spanish, we'll have Frank Marrero. And later, we'll have at 2:30 East Coast time, we have options with Doug. And then we also have institutional trading here in German with Marco Bozio. Bozing, and then we also have a crypto trader here later at 5 p.m. After the market close. All right, so quite a few traders in here, quite a big lineup. So come to these events. You can register and have emails sent to you if you just click on the event. You can you can use the invite here, copy the link, or add to your calendar here. Okay, so all of the information is in here. All right, so just to let you know about the events, but the course material in here, this is what we came here for. So if you're new to Bookmap, you probably want to go through the Getting Started course, getting up and running, and then maybe the Market Mechanics course that will go through how to read these markets and how these markets actually operate. What are the mechanics behind it? And then the supply and demand setups in here. Now, this is what we've been going through during this webinar in here and hanging our hat on some of these setups in here. They're very simple. You've probably heard of them before, but we're going to be looking at them in a different light using supply and demand in the order flow. Okay, so for example, just right off the bat here, by looking at and understanding high liquidity in the order book here on the offer and the transactions taking place into them, this is what we want to ascertain. Get insight to this, and we can look for some really nice moves to unfold. Okay, so let me put the link in here for you guys so that you can come and take a look at some of these. There you go. It's in the chat and also over in YouTube. There you go. All right. So anyway, you can take a screenshot here with your phone, the QR code, and that'll take you right to it as well. Okay, it's only on the Learning Center. So you'll have to go to the Bookmap Learning Center. And again, how you do that is you go to bookmap.com and simply click on education right up here. And that'll take you into the all the different materials that we just went through. All right, let's go through the disclosures and then let's look at the live market. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in and take a look here. So it's been a pretty muted opening here. We just had a spike here, but we had data. All right, in fact, what was the data release? I mean, what was the result of the data release? I know it's the ISM services PMI, and it was better than expected by a little bit. All right, so that's actually a pretty good sign. We see the initial spike here to the upside, and then it's moved right back down though. Okay, so what we need to do in understanding the order flow in here is step one, and these are the things we also go through in the Bookmap Academy. Yeah, bullish initially, Alan. Yep, exactly. It is bullish. That is, I'm kind of surprised by that number. Okay, so that means that all this tariff talk and inflation rhetoric is kind of muted. Well, at least for services. Manufacturing will be another one though. All right, so maybe that's the number that's more important to take a look at. All right, so anyway, yeah, so one of the things first we want to do here now, Bookmap, as you guys know, is showing you some very basic things in here. It's very simple data, although it does look like it's complex. What it is showing in here is just pure price action with best bid and offer. Okay, let me just, we're going to take a step back and kind of go through this in here. So the best bid and offer is here, and we'll take off the volume dots here. Okay, all right, so it's just, this is pure price action. There's no candlestick in here. Now you can overlay a candlesticks just by selecting them here, and you can go into all the different settings here on your candlesticks. However, there's a problem with candlesticks. They only offer open, high, low, and close of the period. So for example, look at this little bottom in here. We want to understand a lot of things in here. Okay, price came down, it based for a little bit in here, and you can probably see a little head and shoulders right in here. Maybe more like a double bottom here, and then price moved away pretty quickly, right? So now we're accepting back up above this price range here. Okay, and we can see how we based in here again and then broke out. So this is looking pretty good. As long as now we want to look at a context though. Is this accepting higher? This is where we'll put on the volume dots. Okay, we want to understand the volume behind the move, and is it accepting higher on higher buy volume? Green dots are market buy orders, red dots are market sell orders. The bigger the dot, the more that transacted. I know you guys know all of this. We're just gonna take a step back and do a review and go through the basics in here, and then we're gonna dive in deeper. All right, so now those are just two elements on here. Now we have stops and icebergs in here, and we'll go through that a little bit later. However, now the heat map is the final element on the Bookmap chart. Okay, only 3 elements. And the heat map here is just showing you liquidity. Okay, so this is liquidity right here, high liquidity right up here. This is what's stopping price from going higher right now, is that the buyers aren't interested at the moment in trading into some very high liquidity in the order book. Look at the order book here, 235, 265. There we go. Now we found the buyers. They traded into it. Now, are we still accepting higher? And then that is bullish. Okay, we don't want this to be a false breakout. Okay, does it accept? And you can see it has come right back down. So we don't know yet. And we don't see a lot of volume up here above where it just traded into in here. These are the things we want to understand the order flow. Okay, and look at these traders are right back in, trying to get in more sell limit sell orders in here, more supply in here. Now the question is, are there enough buyers to take it on? Okay, see how we're not getting them? All right, this is where this turns into a false breakout, and let's see if we can get sellers now. No, we went low enough here to find buyers, and now we're back up here. Now, do we accept? Okay, so what does this mean right now? What are we kind of gaining from this very recent price action in here? Morning trading is live. Well, we're starting to understand that so far, at least, we see that the buyers were kind of buying the dips in here, and then now we are seeing buyers now trade and accept up above. Okay, so this is bullish now. All right, so now we got a pullback here, and let's see how sustainable this is. Boy, it's pretty choppy. It's a pullback. We're right back down into this zone in here. We're trying to understand the buyers and sellers in here and what's going on. And this larger player came in again to put more size on and more supply in here. Good morning, Luciano. Okay, and again, he's in again. And this is our large lot tracker in here showing us one individual trader. Okay, is holding the vast majority of those, probably about 220 or so, or maybe yeah, a little more than 200 orders there. Okay, interesting stuff. All right, so anyway, that is the basics of Bookmap, and we can get maybe into the candlesticks a little bit later, but we're trying to understand the auction process in here. And we do see that there's a lot of supply in here that continues to come back into the order book. Buyers take them on, but they come right back in again. Okay, buyers take them on, they come right back in. So that happened here, here, and here. Now the buyers have not taken them on yet. Again here at this 56.74. Okay, and now are we getting sellers down at the bottom edge here, or are we going to get these buyers buying up the dips in here? Okay, and they're willing to maybe take it back up here, but not willing to take it higher. These are some of the things we want to start to understand. Okay, now guys, I'm using this version here of Bookmap. It's a zoom out version, which I believe I need to double check after the webinar here. It is in beta testing, I believe, so we can give you guys some access to this. I need to check on that though. Okay, I know I've been kind of teasing you with this version here. Anyway, I'm going to jump over to our TraderMap Pro version, because this version in here, although it has zoom out, which is fantastic, I can zoom out all the way here, and I can look at a couple of years worth of order flow data in here. And that is really fantastic. Okay, so we can get a bigger picture view just with this S&P in here, continuous contract. Okay, so here's the recent price action back to almost a year ago so far. In fact, so let's zoom in a little bit. And here's the recent price action. These little gaps in here are 1 week. All right, so yeah, you can see, I mean, we've been, the buyers have been kind of itching to bring price higher, and they have so far. We've been following it for some weeks now, and I was kind of amazed by it, but, the VIX is dropping, and price is going back up amidst, all of this trade data, or I'm sorry, tariffs. So anyway, let's jump over to the TraderMap Pro version though, and this is why, is because see this bot in here that's kind of skewing the auction, right? So we want to eliminate him, and we have software that can automatically do that. It's called TraderMap Lite, which is free, or TraderMap Pro. So we're gonna look at the TraderMap Pro version, and it has a slider in there that you can more finely tune the bot or the filter. That's the difference between the two. Okay, so I like this actually. I like this price action. I'm looking for a price to now break this here. We've come down, we've traded here a bunch of times, and now we see the buying here. Let's see if they can trade up to the 78 level, a previous swing up here. And I'm looking for it. I'm looking for these buyers in here. We had buyers again, buyers again. Now actually big seller here, but let's see if they get squeezed. And let's see if we can come back up into 78 and maybe also 80 up here. Okay, we're going to get our answer in just a second here. All right, buyers, let's see you go after it here, after this liquidity up here at 78. Okay, so far so good. Now, I'm not interested in this, and that's why we will take positions in here, is to pass on some of these things. We're looking for it to come up here. Okay, but there's risk in taking the trade up here at the high, and we don't want to put on that additional risk if we don't have to. Okay, we look for something a little bit better. All right. Good morning, Laura. Laura, let's see if we can get a low volume pullback here. Okay, this is one of the setups we've been talking about a lot from the Learning Center. so far so good. It is low volume in here. Look at the buy volume in here. Here, let me bring up the pen tool. This is I think you've been really overcomplicating it, Laura. It is maybe because you're looking on a little bit higher time frame. It works on all time frames, but on the lower time frame, it might be a little bit clearer, to be honest. Okay, so look at the volume in here. Okay, pretty good. All right, you can see it in the volume bars and the volume dots. You practice it in replay mode. Excellent. That is excellent to hear, Laura. That's the way to go. Okay, now here's it traded into high liquidity here, right? Okay, now we're up to not only our 78 level, now we're up to our 80 level here. That was the move we were looking for. Okay, but we shied away from it because of the risk. Anyway, a low volume pullback could have worked in here, and you can take less risk that way. Okay, so let's go through a few details in here. So who's driving the market right now? It is buyers. They are moving it higher. Okay. Now, what about the battle between the sellers? Well, the sellers are here with high liquidity on the offer at this 78 level, and then also at this 80 level. Okay, so what happens after it trades into this high liquidity? Well, do we see a lot of sellers come in? No. I mean, we do have a cluster here, a big one, which might kind of offset and kind of scare us away. But we do have also an iceberg absorbing that. 625 orders right here. So this is makes it a little more convoluted or complex here, and you might even be able to discount this this big volume dot here and take it out of the picture because it was actually totally absorbed by this iceberg, right? So in fact, that's kind of buyers met sellers. That's it. That's all it meant. What we want to understand the low volume pullback though is these buyers moving the market, and do we see a lot of sellers come back in? No, we do not. Okay, let's actually take our volume bars, bring this higher. Hold on a minute here. I think I've got stop trading on that, and we'll start trading on this. Just get set up for it. All right, so you can see I'm trading in the Bookmap demo sim mode here. It does say live trading or trading real down here, but it is not the case. We're going to be trading into our demo account here in Bookmap, and I would recommend that you forward test using this. It's a great way to forward test and also turn on your trading statistics here. Okay. and then sync with the trading journal. Okay, that'll open up our web trading journal here, which is a great product that you can use to debrief your trading, get data on your trading, understand like how you're doing, etc. So here I just signed into it. Here it is here, yeah, you get how much you're up by, your biggest loser, your biggest winner, your average loser, average winner. You can see your P&L curve. You've got all sorts of data and metrics in here as well, and you can see the number of instruments that you're trading in here as well. Okay, so some really good stuff there. That is the demo account mode, and that's what we're going to be trading in here in this live mode. And we'll select one contract. We're just going to trade one contract in here. Funny enough, I mean, you can see like this big curve here to the upside is because of we had those competitions. Remember, I don't know how long ago it was, like a year ago, or maybe a little bit less, almost a year ago, and we were trading pretty big size. All of this time in here, we were trading like 1 lot, 2 lot, etc. And, really nice little sloping curve in here. And then we trade some size and we get some volatility in the trading activity here. So kind of interesting to see that. But it was a lot of testing of stuff as well, to be honest. Anyway, just wanted to, I want to get you guys on that trading journal. I think you're going to get a lot from it. Okay. You can look at individual trades, you can add screenshots to the trades, etc. Anyway, it's all free. It's all a part of Bookmap, right? So you don't have to get some other service outside of Bookmap. Yeah, you use it regularly. Trading is life. Yeah. So it really is nice. It's nice that they did that, and now we have a nice trading journal and trading statistics too. That has more data, I believe. So you can put that into Excel spreadsheet or whatever you want. All right, guys. Well, let's take a look here for some opportunities, and I'm not really seeing too much at the moment. You could make a case for this in here. This would be Sharks and Laura's setup of a 1, 2, 3 pattern, a reversal pattern, we've been using trend lines in here, but I kind of want to shy away from the trend line maybe a little bit and not focus too much on it. It's more about trading into high liquidity up in these areas up in here, and then looking at structural breaks. This is what's more important. And, we can look at that maybe with a horizontal line, or it can be, with a rectangle, or, it could be a diagonal line. It doesn't matter. But here's the structure. Here's where price was balancing here for a little bit, and then it broke to the downside. Here's our low volume pullback right here. Okay. And this is nice. This fits into the video quite nicely. Okay, so you'll go to the supply and demand course here on the Learning Center, and then go down to low volume pullback right here. It's the longest one in here, and I wanted to cover it in detail, but there's a lot of nuances in this in this pattern in here. This is like a break of structure and a pullback. This one's actually in the video. It's more complex. Because it's actually similar to this one right here, a break of structure and then a pullback. Okay, it doesn't have to be. It could be trending, and we can look for a trending example as well. Okay, I'm not seeing it right now, but we'll take a look here. Okay, so here's another one right now. Okay, so let's see if we can maybe. There's our low volume pullback. We kind of missed it. All right, so let's see, is that one there? You know, it's looking pretty good. I don't like the this lower high in here, and that yeah, we kind of missed it in here. But here we go. This is more of a breakout here of this little range in here. Okay, so and it's hit its target already. Okay, back up to this 77 or 78 level here. Okay, here again, here's another one, right? Okay, so we can get in on that, right? And let's see if we can catch this and come up a little bit higher here. Okay, so more buyers again. Okay, so high liquidity here, pulled back, not too much selling, more buyers. So we can even add into it maybe again in here. Now this would be adding more risk into it, so I would shy away from that. But you guys can see how you can add into these trades over and over again. So if we had taken some profit maybe up at the top of the range in here, we could have added back into this trade. Okay, you can scale in and out of these trades in here in this low volume pullback. Okay, it's kind of trending now. It's not a very strong trend, but it's doing it. And the pullbacks are pretty big too. But I don't see a lot of selling. Okay, so now here we got some exhaustion and some selling coming in. Okay, so this is starting to kind of break the structure here. Okay, so this is probably we'll see if we get buyers down here to try to lift this, but this might have exhausted out here, and we might find some sellers now. Okay, that's why, like we say in the video, okay, reduce some risk and try to look for the trade to come back down to an area like at the bottom of the range and take some off. Okay, just hit a single, right? And then you don't have to fret. Like this right now is broken, and it's probably not going to work now. Yeah, okay, so we're stopped out on that. But and look at our entry in here, not too good. Okay, but it would have worked. It would have given us a move up to this, even broke the recent high here. Okay, so anyway, we'll look for it again and again, and the one thing in here about the low volume pullback on these lower time frames in here is you have to be pretty quick. You have to look for it and be pretty quick on the trading. You have to pull the trigger pretty quickly. You can use your hotkeys. We covered this last time, I think. Come up to settings, and then you can go to keyboard shortcuts in here, and there's instrument trading right here. Okay, and you can add in some hotkeys. Now here we go back again. Okay, we did find buyers now. Okay, down here. All right, now here's our pullback. Okay, now I don't really like this one, and I will pass on it. Still looking for it to come higher here. But what I don't like about it is this is not the consistent buying all the way up, okay, that I want to see. It's pretty good in here, but not up here. Is showing exhaustion, and we get a pullback. And is this low volume here on the pullback? No, it's not. So this is not the setup we're looking for. Does this make sense? Okay, in fact, let's see if we can get a low volume pullback on the opposite side here, on the sell side. Okay, so some selling coming in. It's pretty choppy in here looking at the volume, so it's not so easy to judge right now. Okay, so there's a break. Okay, now there's a pullback. Is it low volume? No, not really. So we're going to pass on that. Okay, we're looking for the impulse move first and then the pullback. Okay, so that's looking better, a little bit better. Let's take a shot at it here. Okay, and we're not looking for much, just maybe the bottom of the range here. and the liquidity right here. Another thing with this setup in here, to be honest, we should have been just stopped out on it. We're looking for it to just to come back to here and then come right back down. That's it. Okay, we're going to hold it here just to see if we get a little bit more at the bottom edge here. Then it's looking pretty good here. So here we go. Let's see if these sellers have it. I mean, they do have control here if they want it. And hit the liquidity down here, targeting this 71.50 liquidity. Okay, pretty convoluted here. Not the nice setup we're looking for. Yeah, we're gonna just flatten it here. Okay, so that's like a break even there. All right, well, let's instead of looking for it live right now, because it's pretty choppy in here, we can look at some of the other examples. Okay, so because what we're looking for is decisiveness. The market is moving away, and then it pulls back because there's no one interested in taking it lower for that after that big impulse move. Okay, so maybe you get some profit taking, maybe you get some bottom fishers, but it basically it pulls back on a lot less volume, and then we're looking for the sellers to re-engage and take it back down to the bottom of that range, take some off, and look for the continuation. Yeah, I have the VWAP on here, Alan, so it's just trading into it right now. Yeah, so it just hit it, so look at I mean, heavy selling, right? Okay, we're gonna see a stop run there, and the pullback here. Okay, it's not trending right now, so we're going to avoid that one too. I mean, guys, we could take this many times over, but it would have to be on very, very small time frames. I'm trying to get it on, kind of intermediate time frame in here, and right now we're not seeing it. All right, let's see here. Any questions over in YouTube? Ride the wave like Odysseus. All right, so here's a spike here by the buyers coming in. Okay, now let's see if we get kind of low interest here, just after a big spike, right? Now we don't want it to go back down below the spike here, and it already has, right? So this is off. We're just looking for the pullback to come here and then for buyers to support it, so they'd have to curl back in. And we can look for some other things in here too. So we'll keep an eye out for this slow volume pullback. Boy, look at how choppy it is, guys. Like there's really not a whole lot going on in here. Yeah, let's even take a step back and look at our candlestick chart in here. 15-minute here on the right hand side, the hourly here in the middle, and the daily here on the left. Okay, so you can see the gap down here, and you know, price has been kind of going back and forth in here, wicks on both sides, but you can see that so far it's kind of come up to the upside a bit more than the downside. And we're hitting VWAP there as well. Are people going to be buying off of the VWAP? Okay, so buyers taking it up high into the liquidity here. 75, still buying. 76, 77. Okay, so here's our structure here. Now it's not a whole lot of buying again, and there's quite a bit of selling here. So this is not what we're looking for. This is back and forth. This is chop. Let's try to find a good example in here. Better example on a higher time frame. There's not much to, I mean, maybe in here, right here we see that the buyers are moving the market, right? Yeah. So this is low volume here. This is a little bit higher volume, but it is a low volume pullback compared to the impulse move in here. Okay. Let's take a look at this one in here. Okay, so this is where those buyers came in, bit higher. It really kind of chopped around in here, and actually sellers trying to bring it lower here, and they do. Okay, so yeah, maybe you got back up to the top of the range in here, but this one is just in here. Does it work? I'm surprised it didn't come up to the 68 liquidity there. Okay, all right, so now we're getting our buyers, right? Now we're getting our impulse move. Okay, all right, so let's look for that pullback. And where is it going to happen here? You can look at your volume profile in here as well. Okay, and we're retracing down, and we're looking for our buyers to come back in. And there's a few. Okay, so now it's retraced back down to here. Now we're finding some buyers. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Okay, buyers, let's see you take it back up to the top of the range. Now this is retraced fully, all the way back down here. So this is likely just going to be a big stop run in here, and I can see 517 up here. Okay, question is, are we going to find our buyers down here? And we're down. Actually, you know, we should move our stop down just a little bit here, because this is where that buying and accumulation started to come in. Okay, so now we're looking for those buyers to curl back in now, and come back up to the highs here. Okay, let's see it. Interesting. One tick away. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we've come up to the top of the range. Now we're going to hold, though. and look for a continuation. And then where are we going to take our profit? Well, we're going to watch this carefully in here, this high liquidity. And I'm going to move my take profit up a little bit higher here at 90, the 90 liquidity. Okay, so we're just traded into this liquidity in here, and we can see that we sold off. Okay, now we're coming back up, and we do see again more buying in here. So we probably could have gotten in again here once that buying curled back in here. So I'm gonna take my stop loss up here just about break even here. Okay, let's see if we can get our move up into this 90 here. A high liquidity here just traded. After high liquidity, we always look for a pullback, right? Okay, and was that pullback on low volume? Not really now. Was. All right, so we're stopped out at break even on that one, but we took some off. Okay, so now let's take a look at the opposite in here. Here's where the sellers came in, and this is low volume on the buy side. Okay, so if I see sellers come in again here, I'm going to get back in. There's some exhaustion. There's some exhaustion. Now I'm looking for sellers. Exhaustion again. Let's see it though. We need to see these red dots, and we put in a sell stop here to take us into that. Okay, so we're filled, and now we're gonna look for just to move to the bottom of the range here. Okay, there's some exhaustion again. Lack of trading up here. Up now we got some buyers. It's not a whole lot. And it's just chopping around. If we get back up here above 85, then we are out. And that looks like it's just about there. Yeah, we're gonna get out of that. And we'll look for another one here. But this is not what we're looking for, is buyers back up above into where it dropped from here. Low volume pullback. This is the volume. This is the pullback here on low volume, and then selling coming in again. This is actually a pretty good example. It didn't work, but it's a good example, right? Because we see the high volume. It retraced back up to this big volume node here, high volume node, and then we see a lack of buying in here, and we see our selling coming in. Okay, I'll take this again and again and again, and then this is a good example of how we'll manage it this way. We're not looking for it to work out now. We're seeing buyers back up here again. No. Yeah, yeah, caveman. I'm finally over my cough. You're right. That took a long time. That was a tough one. All right, let's see here. Okay, so now we got kind of a double top in here. And let's also take a look at our higher time frame in here. What's going on? So, you still see buyers, kind of inching higher here, but where is this going? We can look at some structural elements here on the 15 minute, at least right up here around this 85. Okay, trading into it here, where this is where it bounced off of before. So if it can't get back up above this 85, 85.50 in here, then we're going to look for these sellers to come in. Okay, but so far it's we're seeing more buyers, and on the hourly chart as well. So we have a little bit of momentum here. The daily's really not showing us much. We are within previous days price action. All right, we're just kind of chopping around again in this zone after trading up into this high liquidity in here. Hey, have you guys? I'm just kind of curious over in Discord. How did you guys like that course? This new course that we have. I got some feedback from you guys that the low volume pullback. That's why I'm covering it. And I really believe in this one. I've been trading it for quite a while, and there's so much flexibility with it, which is fantastic. So a lot of us look at it being something like we're looking at maybe moving averages, or maybe you're looking at moving averages or a pullback to VWAP or whatever. It's the same concept. You're looking for these pullbacks on low volume, and because there's no interest we see that there's a trending market, and due to that trending market, there's not too much interest in counter trend trading. So we look for that low volume, and then we look for the trend to continue. So the market has to take a break. It has these impulsive moves, and then it trickles back down, and then we find buyers again start to come back in, and that's what we're looking for. Right, so one thing for sure is we need a trending environment. So I got kind of excited when I saw this one in here, and then I saw one here on a counter trend trade, which I took, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, this looked pretty good in here, and it started to break some of the smaller structure in here. I thought we'd at least get a move to the bottom of the range here. And then we started to see that buying starting to accumulate back up above, and that's not what we're looking for in this setup. And this is very choppy yet again. See how this one could possibly be one as well here. Selling, not much, it's very small, but then we look for selling again. Okay, and then hit some of the targets down here. And that one played out. And let's see if we can get another one in here. Right there. So here's our strong volume. Here's our buying. Right. Here's our selling. Okay. Now we're looking for, basically, these are very small moves. So, you know, we're looking for the retest to the bottom of the range first. Right. We would have taken some off right there. So it's only a couple of ticks. Okay. But we're going to hold for a little bit longer on this one. And I don't like it either, because like we already see some buying coming in here. Okay, but let's move our target up to the high liquidity in front of it here at this 80 level. Yeah, it's not good. This is not good. All right, we're going to exit it. Yeah, I mean, it still may work out, but this is not worth it. We're looking for a decisive move away from the chop, and then low volume, and then more selling again here to bring it down lower. We're not looking for this back into the range and the chop in here. If I see big spikes in the price pullback, does it mean that buyers? Well, I mean, this is like back and forth in here right now. As you can see, you know, we get down here, we get buyers buy it up, and then it exhausts out up here, and sellers bring it right back down, etc. Okay, this is looking better on the buy side here, though. Right now, buyers are coming in. This is more decisive. And now we're at the highs of the day here. We're getting there. Are they willing to take it higher? And this is what we've been seeing over the last like several weeks or for some months now. Before Trump and the tariffs, you know, all that chaos, basically, with the VIX and etc. The low, I'm sorry, oh, well, I kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah, is what we were seeing, that no one was really willing to take it higher. That was all in this. It's actually back a little bit here. It was in this area in here, the all-time highs. We'd see these big moves up, and then no one was interested. You know, no one was interested. And then, you know, this is where we got these big choppy areas in here, and then we see that buyers would come in, but at the lows. Okay. So and that was it. We didn't get that buying on these up in these areas up in here, and that's what we need to see for follow through. A lot of you guys also looking at, you can use the same idea, same concept for this low volume pullback with anchored VWAP. Okay, so you can use your anchored VWAP at some of the swings. Okay, so now this is where those buyers came in. So I'm going to anchor my VWAP there. So I'll right click here, anchor it, and then I'll look for a pullback to my anchored VWAP. Now, if you like that, right, and you can see it, well, it's kind of working. We're getting buyers off of that. Okay, so but we want to look for the volume here to the to the anchored VWAP to be very slight compared to the impulse move away from it. And there's your low volume pullback with an anchored VWAP. Okay, same like with moving averages, Bollinger Bands, whatever it might be. Boy, timing is pretty horrible today. We talk about these moves and they're unfolding, and we get ready to trade and they're not. Anyway, we'll continue to look here. Okay, so now we just breached highs of the day, and we're getting a pullback here. Now let's just watch this pullback here. We've been burned a couple times on it. That we see sellers come back down below into these areas in here, and it chops around for a bit. Thank you, Valley fan. Great information. Like I said, the timing is off a bit. I mean, you do have to pay attention for this if you're going to be trading on these small time frames. You have to be quick. Or another one, so that's why we've been drawing the trend lines too. Look for where buyers are buying off of. Okay, and we just broke it here now, but we're still bullish here. I mean, we broke the trend line, but we're still making higher lows and higher highs here so far. Valley fan, you caught one of these low volume pullbacks. I remember seeing it just recently on one of your stocks, and you said, why can't they all work out like that? That's what I'm trying to that's what I'm trying to find here. Exactly that. It's a very simple setup. Once you're trending, you're looking for it. Okay, so maybe here, right? So let's just give it a shot here. Okay, so this is a little bit higher time frame one. Okay, we're looking at this kind of bigger trend in here, and then it kind of chopped back down, and we might get caught up in it again in here. We'll see, but we're probably going to be getting some chop here for a bit. Okay, but we're still looking for buyers being in control and moving this higher. Okay, and we got some volatility here at 11 o'clock. Not sure what that is. Was it NVIDIA? No, it was just recently, I think. I don't think it was, it might have been NVIDIA, but anyway, like, it was beautiful. It was big sell-off, and you had your pullback right to your cam level. It was low volume. You took it, and it worked immediately, went in your favor, and continued to trend down. No, I don't. It was you. It was definitely you. Another thing on this setup in here is to be kind of careful with the high liquidity in here, and then we're always looking for chop after, right? So just keep that in mind before we get those buyers to curl back in and look to continue that trend. And this is very typical. We always look for that. That's why we can look for that low volume on that pullback. All right, well, let's see if we get our breakout here. Okay, we should be taking some off at the top of the range, to be honest, but we're going to hold it. We only got one contract on. Okay, but just hitting singles, get that one contract top of the range, just get a feel for how this works, and then you can always add, or you can always hold. Okay, you're talking about the volatility that happened a few minutes ago. Okay. Going all in for the London close. Yeah. David trades kind of similar to he's trading the strong move, right? So he kind of looks and scours these little areas in here, and then he looks for a big volume, right? Moving the market, and he gets very aggressive. That's a great way of trading. Your timing has to be really good, though. And the nice thing about it is it works usually immediately, and you're out, and you take very little pain. Come on, are we going to come up and hit the figure up here at 5,700? What do you guys think? Oh, okay, course feedback. Okay, trading's life. You love it. You were not too clear on absorption and exhaustion. Okay, we can go over that. It's very simple. Volume profile traders as well. This low volume pullback works for that too. I think we covered it in the video. You're looking for like a low volume node because there's high volume moving it away on the impulse move, and then you got to kind of zoom in and use your CVP column typically to look for it, right? And look for like, okay, so this is going to be a low volume node in here, and you can see it is very slight, but it is. Okay, and you look for it to reject here again. Okay, so auction market theory plays into this as well. Well, it all fits into auction market theory, but you're looking for like a move into where it rejected previously, and that it should reject again, especially on low volume, right? And you'll find that this is a deal for those at the lower end here. That is mispriced, and it should come back and trade up into here where there's a lot more transactions of value here, the value area for this little small range or this range in here, right? So that's another way to look at it. In fact, you're kind of tilting the low volume pullback on its head a little bit. Oh, look at that. Okay. Boy, we're not having a good day. Let's see if we can get back up above, though. This might be just one of those, probably might be news. Let's see here. If it's news, then we're going to drop again. Or is it just a stop run? See, this is where I wish I had a news feed up and running. Because I'd like to know what just happened here. It is 89 down to 84, so it's like a 5-point move. This is part of the risk of any trading. Okay, that's for sure. All right, so we are getting more sellers here. All right, so I'm gonna look for maybe, let's see if we can get a low volume here, and then selling coming in again. Yeah, there they are, and there they're not. Wow. Okay, it's all over the place. Okay, so yeah, we're getting upended in here a lot today. Let's see it, sellers. Come on. I mean, this is, if this big seller in here is news, then we're looking for continuation here. Starting to see some. I mean, this again, this is the dominant direction for this small time frame, right? And we do see the move back up here and a little bit of buy volume. Okay, but sellers still in control from here down. So we're looking for them to take it down again. Retest the lows here. Okay, and let's see it, sellers. There they are. All right, we're going to jump in on that, and we're going to take some off at the bottom of the range here. Okay, and then I've got high liquidity here at 80. Okay, so bottom of the range target is hit, and let's see if we can get continuation out of this. Okay, now I want to see this work right now, and at this point here I'm actually willing to bring my stop to break even here, or close to it, right? The reason being, not because it's at break even, is that this should work right now. Okay, if it comes back up in here, I'm wrong. Okay, and that's fine. We'll just wait and take another one. Okay, so it did, and it did it on high volume, so I'm wrong. Take the stop loss on that, and then look at, we can also look for a counter or a move in the opposite direction if we get our buyers back up here. So actually looking pretty good here. Yeah, we want to see him up here though, not here. I want to see him here. It's looking good so far. Let's see if we can get some more in here. All right. Okay, so this is actually pretty, I'm kind of happy. Like, okay, this hasn't been a great day, but I'm happy to show you the management in here, right? Because we had two on, we took some off at the bottom of the range, and then a stop out at the break even. They were just around break even, small loss, and that's it, right? So we hit a single and we had a runner, and we didn't lose. Okay? And duplicate that again and again and again. Now, this way here, you know, we're anticipating there are going to be losses. It's not going to work all the time, but it's probabilities. And continue to take that trade when you know you have an edge. Okay, and this is the easy kind of way to manage it here, and then build some confidence. So then when you start to see maybe some nicer moves, some nicer setups, you can really nail it, and you can scale into these moves. This is something like Scott Pulcini talks about quite a bit, of seeing the move, and then he'll scale in, and then I really like the way he has managed that over the years. Like well, you said it years ago, was that when he scales in, it's a whole new trade, and he moves his stops and take profits to new areas, but for all of the trades at that point. So I hope that makes sense. Like if you're in, like let's suppose here, and you took some off down here, and you still in though, maybe your stop was up here, let's say, and you get in again, like in here, let's suppose. Okay, he would move his stop for both of those trades now down to here, and then maybe he'd be taking some off. I know he has different ways of looking at it, ATRs, etc. How do I decide my bias? This is a great question, Zed. Sure. So I don't really use VWAP. I'm not much of a VWAP trader. What I like to do personally is I like to look at who's in control on the different time frames, and it's very simple. Is to look at starting at a higher time frame. I mean, there's no question, right? Well, let's hold on. Let me zoom back here. Okay, so on the higher time frame, it is kind of questionable. Like, this seller's still in control. We're in a bigger move down. Okay, but we've seen multiple days in here going to higher highs. Okay? And look at the way it's doing it, though. It's kind of inching back up. And also talk about volume. Look at your volume subchart. It's not doing it on a lot of volume compared to when it sold off, right? So, and these are some extreme, days in here. So this kind of makes it a little more challenging. But let me answer the question. So look at the size and color of the candles. Okay, these moves in here. Okay, so buyers are moving it. So on the daily chart, they are in control. Okay, now if you look in the bigger picture, like in weekly or monthly, it's something different. But on the daily, like they're moving the market higher, and they still are. Okay, so now so we have that angle on it on the daily. Okay, what about on the hourly in here? Well, we have a big gap here, right? So that's going to be a big red bar, basically. See it here on the daily, and now we're tracing back into it. Okay, so what's it look like here on the cash open? Well, we kind of dipped lower. We kind of didn't really fill. I mean, the gap is truly down here, to be honest. But we filled in this area in here, and we found some buyers. And that's where we kind of opened up, and we see some buyers come back in. Okay, and it's not bad, this hourly candle here. It's showing a bit of momentum. But let's take a look at the 15-minute chart now. Okay, it doesn't look too good. The way that it is going higher here is pretty choppy. Okay, so let's go again, and who's in control. And I'll be very consistent with this, and I use this on all time frames. Okay, that we know that on the daily, at least, the buyers are in control. Okay, on the hourly in here, okay, we had this pullback or gap, and we see some coming in on the hourly. So yeah, I don't know, it's kind of mixed on the hourly, okay, because of the gap, and we're really right in the middle of the gap right now. Okay, and then what about the 15-minute chart? Okay, again, we're in the middle of the gap, but we continue to make higher highs in here, but we don't really. It really is kind of hard. It's kind of hard to ascertain, are they really in control moving this market? And look at it now. See how kind of choppy it's looking right now. In fact, here we are back down to the low here, and let's see if the sellers can now kind of move it away from that and trade back down to maybe 75 or maybe the VWAP here. Okay, so now let me show you in the order flow what I mean. Okay, by looking at Bookmap. Okay, so same idea. Okay, so who's in control? Who's moving the market? Well, we can see here before the data, the move up. Okay, and we see the move back down now, and this is after 10 o'clock and after the services PMI, and we come back up. Okay, so buyers are, and it was really choppy in here. Okay, and boy, trading is life. You probably nailed this one, huh, with your VWAP. Anyway, the buyers are in control though in this move in here. Even though there's some pretty good selling, like they did not take control of this move. So it's back and forth, but you would still give the nod to the buyers. Okay, so now how does that help us as we go forward here? Okay, again, pretty strong move in here, buyers. Okay, also here, not bad, pretty strong move in here. Starting to see buying and selling now though. All right. Okay, so now we can look at, in the bigger picture, we're kind of like mildly bullish in here. But when we zoom in on the smaller time frame, we saw this move in here. And that's when we saw the low volume pullback, and then we're looking for the move lower. Okay, so the sellers in this little area in here have control of it. Okay, I hope that helps. It depends on the time frame you're trading and what you're looking for. So just on that small time frame, do sellers have control? Maybe you'd be looking for a pullback here to some area, like maybe here. Maybe it's an ATR that you're looking for, or high liquidity on the bid in here where it broke out from, or there's another structural area here, or all the way back down to the swing. Or maybe you're a VWAP trader and you're looking in here, and you'd be looking for a low volume pullback on that time frame. Right? So let's go through it, and we can go through even on these very small time frames in here. Okay? So for me, it's a top-down or bottom-up approach of looking at the time frame and see how the buyers are now taking control above this area in here. Okay? Now, is it sustained though? Okay, it looks pretty good. Let's see if we can get back up here and take one more. There's some buying. Okay, so now buyers should be able to take it back up to here. Okay, back up to 90. Okay, because they're taking control of the market and they're doing it on some volume. Okay, now we might get caught and might come back in the middle of the range in here. Okay, but that's a breakout, and it's on volume. Okay, so now do they have enough buying pressure now to reach the next level up in here though, of high liquidity at 90? This is where the sellers are. These are where the aggressors are moving that market higher. Okay, and then buyers will be in control now. Okay, this is where they will take control of that market back up in this area here. You know, we can get a little more precise. Probably maybe it's about here where those sellers really came in. Okay, so somewhere around in here, 89 to 90. Okay, and then now we're looking for follow through. Okay, and looking to test up to this area here, right, where those sellers came in. Okay, and there we go. So we're filled. Okay, so buyers taking control again, and we're back up here. Okay, now we're going to get a low volume pullback and continuation, kind of so far. Let's see. Okay, so let's zoom in here now. Maybe we'll kind of take some blindly in here and see how this works out. But this would be it in here: low volume pullback into low volume node. Right. So it would have been great to have been filled right in here someplace. Okay, and then again, top of the range. See if we can get take some off of the top of the range, or maybe a little higher, 94. High liquidity up here, 94, 95. And now there's risk to all of this. If you look for a low volume node and you get another one right in here, right there it is, right? So you can look and say, do you want to get involved into that? Okay, or do you want to wait for buyers to come curl back out of that area because it rejected there, and we want it to reject again, and then you get back in. We look again for top of the range in here. Okay, so we got our top of the range. Now we're looking to hold and on this breakout. Okay, so maybe bigger picture, want to come up to 5,700 here. So we can look for that. Now we have some market timing in here as well to go through. The European close is coming up. Okay, do you want to hold during that period? It's up to you. Right? Are things still working out, or are we going to get some weird volume and movement in here? Now, do you want to reduce the risk? Now, we already took some risk off. Okay, so we've been talking about this in the Bookmap Academy. If you guys are interested in the Academy, it's free. You can just come over to bookmap.com. Show you where. And just click on the More button here, and then go to Bookmap Academy here. And you can read about it and join. But what we've been talking about in terms of the Academy is we're looking at a few different things, and market timing being one of them, to give us, to manage some of that risk, okay, or take advantage of the market timing. Okay, here's another. So this is going to be another low volume little node in here, right, where it broke out from here. Do we find buyers though? That's the question. And I see sellers in here. This is not the pullback we're looking for. We're probably going to get stopped out. Okay, and we are. Okay, so we took some off, and then that was it. Okay, I should have managed. We should have taken our stop up here. Right, this is kind of demoing these little low volume pullback or nodes. Also, high volume nodes work as well. A retest back to here, and then curl back again. Another thing that you just can't. Well, yeah, I think you're right, Vale. We're trading into high liquidity, and then at highs of the day, and then some chop, and then we have the European close. Again, market timing. The timing matters. So the top-down approach, like in the Academy that we've been going through, is you can look at your fundamentals. Okay, so the data today was viewed as positive, I believe, and then it sold off. So, and that can set maybe the tone and the direction for you. And then look at your higher time frame levels, important levels in the market. okay? And then also your market timing. Okay, this is before looking for the setup. Now, another thing that I think is critical is the setup that you're going to pick, right? So like right now, we covered a pretty good one on Friday. Okay, I've been kind of forcing the setup today. I really have, and you can see it hasn't been performing too well. But we're not really trending like that. But what we covered on Friday, and we just kind of missed it, but is this setup here of looking for maybe a break of this trend line, but we're looking for on the way down, high liquidity getting filled on the bid all the way down and being oversold. And then we look for, so we're looking for passive accumulation, okay, on the bid, on the bid, on the bid. Now we don't get it here. We only get it at this area here. Okay, we're looking for being quite oversold on a move down. You're everyone's kind of wondering like, what the heck? Why is it still going lower? And all these buyers getting filled on the bid. And then we're looking for a pretty catastrophic break of the trend line or the structure. You know, it could be this structure here, where these sellers came in and tried to take control here, right? And then what you'd be doing is you'd be buying here. Okay. Now, this is not that setup. It might work out, but it's not that setup, okay? Because we don't have high liquidity really getting filled on the bid all the way down. So we need these passive buyers first, and then we're looking for a transition from passive to aggressive, right? So that would be your passive side getting filled, and then we're looking for our aggressors in here, okay? And we're looking for our big green dots in here taking this higher, right? And being oversold, I was questioned, what does that mean? Okay, well, you can use your CVD if you like, which we have here. You can use your volume pressure imbalance or your market. Many of the market pulse tools will give you this information. And then, you know, we're looking for those. We got to see that transition though, from passive buying to aggressive buying. And that can lead to some really powerful moves. So anyway, I was covering all of that due to number one was the setup for your time of day. Okay, so again, the kind of top-down approach for that would be your fundamentals, kind of getting a feel for maybe how are traders reacting to the data. Okay? Then you're looking for your higher time frame levels. Then you're looking at your time of day. Then you're looking at order flow. Okay, order flow events, and that will determine your setup. And then in your setup, you're also looking for an order flow event to really kick it off, right? So this is actually starting to kind of play out. Maybe it'll work. I don't know, but it's not the setup I'm looking for, right? You really want to see that high liquidity and that passive buying first. Okay? Otherwise, you won't get that slingshot move that you're looking for, right? You might get a move up and back up to where the sellers were here. Okay, so really a lot of passive buying, then a lot of aggressive buying after breaking structure. And that's why we have all these different setups in here from the Learning Center. Okay, you click on education there. In this supply and demand course, why we have all these different setups in here is because look for the setup that will work for you during the trading day. Okay, so I wanted to cover this for Trading is Life, about looking for, oops, sorry, and then we'll call it a day here. Okay, Tom B is up next, so he will just kicking it off now. Let me just finish up, and then we'll call it a day here. Absorption and exhaustion. Okay, absorption is here. Okay, high liquidity on the offer getting filled. Okay, you see the transactions into the high liquidity in here, and they can't get through it. Right, that's the key. They can't get through. It's absorbed. These sell limit orders absorbed all the buying pressure. Exhaustion is the lack of aggressors. Okay, it has nothing to do with liquidity. It is the aggressors. And if you don't have aggressors in here, there's no more market to be made. There's no one interested in trading. Okay, there might be high liquidity above it, or a lot of times there's nothing above it in here. It already got filled over here on the left. So your absorption followed by your exhaustion. Okay, it can be a really, really powerful combination. Especially look for this in the direction of the trend. Okay. Otherwise, I mean, this is like a double top in here. Absorption followed by exhaustion. Look for it again and again, and then look for those sellers to start to come in. Okay, and if you're in the direction of the trend, it's a lot easier. And you get a lot quicker moves, and you'll get a lot more momentum out of it. Okay. Otherwise, if you're looking for a reversal, it's different, because if you need to kind of wait for maybe it comes up a little bit higher and trades into high liquidity up in here. Maybe it continues to still find buyers. And then you're looking for, when have the buyers stopped buying, and when do you find no action at all, and then when do you start to see sellers come in? Okay, and those are the things to put together. I hope that helps. Trading is life, but we'll go through it again and again. It's really good stuff. You'll see it many times over. A little convoluted up here, but let's see this one here. You can even see it here a little bit on a very micro scale, or not super micro, but like, here we got to mess with the heat map just a little bit here. Bring this down. Okay, so high liquidity here. Okay, transactions into it, absorbing it, can't get higher. Here's exhaustion all the way through. All of these little points up here there's no buying. Okay, so we trade into high liquidity, it transacts, tries to get higher, it can't, and then you're getting sellers starting to come in. Okay, that's it. Right, so I know it's a little harder to visualize on this time frame. This is where you can also, this gets into exactly the same ideas with the 1, 2, 3 pattern, or a double top, or whatever it might be, or even kind of a head and shoulders, like you're looking at the right side of it though, and you're looking for those sellers to come in, move it, and then you're looking for a low volume pullback to that area, and then look at the buying in here. So we missed this one, right? But there's very little buying up in here where these sellers dropped it, and we look for the sellers to come back in and take it down to the bottom of the range, and continuation as well. Okay, once it starts doing this after reversal, that's when the low volume pullback becomes great, because you've got it here already, and you can look for another one, and you can look for another one, and you can look for another one. And I can't stand it when I'm explaining these things and they didn't happen in real time, because I think we would have hit these. We would have taken profit down in these areas in here. Okay, probably. I don't know if we would have held through this. Anyway, here's your trend. Micro trend though. It's not a big one. Does that make sense? Okay. The best way to do it is what Laura is doing, and a lot of you guys, Shark is doing it, and why their trading is improving is they're recording their data, They're going back and replaying it and looking for it. And it just works. Like you're like a card player who has now played, 10,000 hours, and compared to someone else who's trading real time, probably had like 1,000 hours. You can get so many more instances under your belt and experience, and then you'll know exactly what you're looking for. All right, guys, it's time to go. I've been getting into these a little too deep into the session here, and I'll maybe pull back a little bit, but you guys get the idea. I just want to set the foundation for you guys for some of these setups in here, so you understand some of the details, and then look for them again and again. All right, guys. Yeah. Well, yep. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, same time. Hit the like button over there in YouTube, and we will catch up with you tomorrow, same time. And then we'll also have our onboarding webinar for those of you who are new to Bookmap. We'll do that tomorrow as well. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye.